Go ahead and start. This is I'm going to call the meeting to order and welcome. This is a special session on the budget workshop. It's Tuesday, September 3rd, 9 a.m. Commissioners Courtroom, 162 West 1st Street, Trinity County Courthouse, Groveland, Texas. Bonnie, I'm glad you're here. We missed you when you're gone.
I'm glad I'm here too.
We got numbers and stuff, but it seems like you can't see them, you get them in order for them.
Just quickly, I put in the changes that were requested at your last meeting on the increases in officials.
Okay.
And with that came a few adjustments on fringe benefits and some other line items, which I noted on your cover sheet.
Okay.
Special funds.
Ms. Bonnie,
Yes, sir.
they're asking you about this increase prior year carryover.
Down at the bottom, see that at the bottom of the first page?
Of
Is that
the,
740, somewhere 40 or something?
They're asking about.
oh, that's gone away now. That was when we were first making some changes and we were short, $740. Once we made the next group of changes, that completely went away. So your fringe, your actual reserve carryover is now back to 250. Okay? So it's gone back to the original 250.
That's what it was when we talked.
That's when we first started. So we're moving up with the changes. And that also, you also include reserve, you have reserve funds in there, and contingency are still in there.
And how much are they?
Reserve is 100,000, and contingency has always been 5,000. But if you have anything that's left over, once we get finished with this, the recommendation would be to roll that into a reserve fund once you're finished, if there's any revenue remaining.
If we have anything left, we need to know what your reserve.
With these particular changes, you do have additional revenue now available, below $15,000. But again, if you're not completely finished with your budget, that'll change obviously. With the official increases, your fringe benefits didn't change that much. It was a small amount. With those, it was a small increase, but not. I usually round those up anyway, so it didn't make a big difference.
Yes, ma'am.
So Bonnie, maybe you can explain this a little bit to me real quick.
Okay.
Down at the,
What page you
I'm just looking at 23 at the final, the end of the general fund, what the budget would be.
Yes,
So amended budget 2023-2024 was 8.3 million and some change. Now the budget, proposed budget is going to be 8.9 million and some change. That's a $651,000 increase.
right.
And we're only getting 505 extra from,
And your carryover is 250,000. So that's your increase. We had a carryover last year as well. So you've got an additional 500,000 ad valorem plus $250,000 that will carry over. That's 700. You're looking at almost 800,000.
that carryover from the
Yes.
last 3 years.
But your ad valorem did go up, so that is correct. But their carryover is still going to be there. From what I can project out, we'll have the same carryover than we've had in years past.
Are you adding the SB 22 on the additional income side?
Those come out of the grant. Those don't come out of your general fund. So your general fund is not going to include those. Those are going to be in your special funds, which is the second section, which comes out of your combined. Those are not, the only one that's in the general fund is the matching for the constables that the county has to pay.
Yeah.
But everything else that's state funded is in a special grant fund. Does not come out of your general budget. So if you want to look at those, they are there in your report. It's actually starts on page 36, and you'll see state bill law enforcement supplement, sheriff, jail, and constables.
Insurances was a big factor this year.
The increase in
all the insurance.
Yes, the treasurer did increase the health insurance coverage amount, so that did go up.
Well,
That's
actual, that's more actual numbers, you
how
know.
much did it go up per employee?
I don't have that number off the top of my head, I can get it. Yeah, about one
It's a little over 13,000 per employee.
It was 11, wasn't it?
No, it was over, basically, I'll get you exact number.
No.
I think it's went up a little over 100 bucks an employee per month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
About 1,200 a year. A little less than 1,200 a year. 100 per employee per year or 100 per month?
100 per month
That's what
per
I'm saying.
employee.
Yeah, 1,200 a year. And our general fund on the insurances and stuff on the buildings and everything else still didn't have enough to fix the roof.
That money's still sitting in ARPA for you, it's still there. It was allocated, so you've still got money that's been pre-allocated for those places, yes. You don't see that in here because it's not budgeted. It's
I
been
keep
invested.
worrying about it, but I'm scared.
I know you are.
I ask about it every week.
You haven't completed everything that you were allocated on repairs. The only question I had was on your election, you know, where we had to split out the election workers. The election line item does go over budget every year. I know Priscilla had mentioned in the meeting that she doesn't go over budget, but that line item is 20,000, right now it's 20,000 over budget. Because that's not only things she purchases for the election, but that includes all the election workers and all of their what they get paid. But we've got to split those out this next year. So I wasn't sure still if you're going to be able to reduce the number of locations.
We've asked about that, but it's
Yeah.
only one location that she said
That
that
can
she
change.
could take. And she's not sure it can be done, it's what you're done from Austin. Did I hear that
They
right?
just have to get permission. Probably can't do it for the November election because
No.
that's too soon. But next year, they,
She told us during the primaries, the parties pay for it, but we pay for them.
and then we do get some back, and you can see that in the revenue, but it still doesn't cover the entire cost of that.
Still over.
It's still gonna be over. But I think there's enough in there with what we've split out, plus what they will reimburse us for. And it is hard to see, for you said the revenue coming in on the general fund side, and we're not adjusting down in that line.
So that figure, you got 25,000, it's 20,000 above that, or that you're talking about?
No, I think, no, it's
You think it'd be just about the,
value.
here, if she thinks that's gonna be just about where we've been there, that she's allowed.
Circling back to your question earlier, the rates went up $32.56 a month per.
That's half.
$32.56.
Well, is that about normal?
Yeah.
That's what they've been going up, they went up every year since.
Honestly, if we went out outside of tax to get other insurance rates, we would be paying way more than ours right now, I promise. That would be, insurance isn't cheap right now, I'll just say that. Never works.
Just on the insurance alone, it's almost $100,000. Just in that, yes, sir.
And then you take that machine.
All right, machine, it's just,
She says we're in the increased cost. It wasn't okay.
Bonnie or Orin, if I wanted to pay some on my notes, I need to do that pretty quick. Not too late to do it, take it out of the budget.
No, we can send something in by the end of September or by September.
Okay.
I mean, you have pretty low debt, right?
I want it zero.
Okay, then,
I'm a conservative. I want it zero. I don't want to owe nobody.
okay.
But
There's
I've
no
got that,
penalty. There's no penalty to
I've
pay
got
off.
that Harper money and some savings, thinking about little stuff.
Let me
Let
know.
me get with you.
In the bank, that's fine.
How much is the interest rate on that? Do you know?
They vary,
They're on mine,
they're over 5%.
How much?
Over 5 right now.
Yeah.
I think less than 6 somewhere, I think like 5.6, something.
I think the trucks that we just bought were 5.74 or
Something
something.
like that,
Something
yeah.
like that, right?
And the maintainer that I owe for is 350. 3.5%.
Yeah, it's still on a low rate.
So when does that money have to be spent on?
By the end of September,
This year?
this
All-
month.
All of it?
No,
Oh,
that's
no,
No, I mean, how many years do they have left in it?
You mean
Oh,
on-
ARPA money?
Yeah.
Oh, not until December of 2026.
Yeah.
26, yeah.
Yeah,
It had to be allotted by 24.
25, 20, yeah.
Forward.
We've got it allotted by 2024.
Four.
The only thing I've
Spent about 26.
Did something crazy.
I thought so.
At 3.5%, you can't get the amount.
But what about 5 and 7.3?
That's still
I don't have a clue, that's just opinions on it.
just to hold it for.
Well, they pay me 5% interest on my pay. Okay, 4.75, and I'm paying 5.73. That ain't very good business sense, is
Ask
it?
him about that.
Pay interest on it. When you-
If you had to go get some money to pay, you know.
I'm gonna borrow some of yours, Judge, if I get it.
For him to do. I guess that'll make it up.
Down there, man.
I guess that's the makeup on it.
That's the
I know that on that last page, at 15,562, that'd be going back to reserve. But every year, something's come up, and we've had to just out of the middle of nowhere, and we had to take care of it. Last year.
Oh, I agree, we make that.
Maybe I could borrow something new. If I did.
My interest rate ain't gonna be that cheap.
Yeah, I got, that's how I interest you.
Yeah.
So the bottom line of our budget is we've increased the tax rate. That's just the bottom line. No, you can't, that's it. That's it. Yeah, you're right. So that's not, look at it.
Mike, on page 6, I was just looking through the budget, and it shows If you look down at commissioners,
Yes,
it shows transfer to road bridge from general fund,
yes.
27.
Yes.
Is that our insurance and stuff, or what is that?
That's your total, based on your increases, plus what you want in your budget. You get your ad valorem, you see that amount, the 743,295, that's 10% of the total ad valorem taxes received. We then take your social security, retirement, and salaries from the general fund. But in order to balance each of your expenses, I have to move additional funding from the general fund to balance your budgets.
Well, I didn't ask for any kind of increase or anything.
No, if you look longevity goes up,
Your social security,
Social security,
everything like that.
retirement, yours I don't think was very well. If you'll look where Road Bridge began, you'll see how much that is.
25.
And it's just all that increases the cost.
You see your regular income that you normally receive as a, you'll see the transfer in other income, social security would transfer in, retirement, salary, longevity. The general fund pays that. Then we added a couple of things, but your general transfers, you see the amount where it says R&B general transfer? That's how much more I needed to balance
Where
your
are we
budget.
at? Where are we at?
Page
On page
25.
25.
I'm on 25, I'm trying
Look at other income.
About middle of the page here.
to, other income, yes.
These are funds that we moved from the general fund
So
every
basi-
year.
So
Yeah.
mine went from 115 to.
It went up from 38,408 to 57,621. You give your employees your 1.5% increases, salary goes up. Insurance went up, your insurance went up, workers' comp, things of those nature. With more equipment, more insurance. So those went up.
Like Mike said, it's 11% increase overall.
I don't think,
Mostly
I
it's
don't think you had any.
No, ma'am, I did.
You didn't.
I got shot down again for my
I didn't need,
maintainers.
you didn't need any additional funds
No,
to
ma'am.
balance your budget,
For
so.
precinct 2.
According to this pay raise, or this salary survey that we did a few years ago, the employee starts out, and every year they get a 1.5 up to 15 years. Once they get 15 years,
They're maxed.
that's the end of it.
That's it.
That don't seem too fair to me. When we have only 2 employees that I'm aware of that's got 15 years.
That's, I think the incentive was to, once you get past that period of time, unless you move to a different department that has more money, you also are getting additional retirement benefits, insurance, possibly for retirement. We want you to stay around long enough.
It don't look like it
Well-
from the employee standpoint.
Well, and again, it's at your discretion, but there are more than 2 employees that are frozen.
Really?
Yes, sir. They've maxed out. In their line of work, what they do, and what it was classified as, some of them didn't get any raises. If it's a cost of living increase, they all get it. Okay? But the
But we didn't
step,
give a cost of living.
you did last year.
Last year, this
Last
year.
year. That's right, not this year. Then all of them receive it. But the step increases for longevity, for how long you're here. So those are 1.5% until you reach the maximum of that job duties. So that doesn't mean that someone that is a clerk can, I mean, there's a limit, there's a cap, that's all you can make. But every time you give a cost of living increase, that ceiling rises. I now add that additional cost of living to that position, so now they're able to even go further in that position. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think there are 5 employees the moment, 6 that are capped.
That won't get the 1.5.
They will not get the 1.5% step increase. And last year, there were some that were maxed, they couldn't get the 1.5, but they did get the cost of living increase.
Even our retirees got bumped last year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But they hadn't had one, let me clarify that. They hadn't had one since 2008.
I think they well deserved it.
Yes, I did too. But I know it did cost the county a lot of money.
Well, and you see it in your retirement rate that's being withheld from your own retirement structure. We have to pay in more in order to offset
Sure.
that increase for your retirees.
I guess what we need to discuss, and what we haven't discussed at all during this time, is last year, if y'all remember, when we got the JPs to raise, matched, not matched, but paid 75% for the constables and did all that last year. We talked in open court about all the operators getting some kind of raise, and we would do that, talk about it next budget year. I don't know if this is the right time to talk about it this year or not, but they, they have been left out, and they can go, my guys can go right over to Polk County and make more. And just like, I know everybody's having issues with that, but our operators are, $18 an hour, give or take, and they can go right across the county line or somewhere and make $40 an hour, or whatever. So I don't know if that's something that we can fit into this budget, but I'd like to discuss it and see. You got one guy that is, I'm guessing, he might have been referencing him, but he's been in Rutherford County forever, and here he is. All we're giving is 1.5, and he can't get a raise because he's maxed out.
No, I don't have any road bridge guys that are maxed out. That I'm aware of.
Sam it?
I believe Sam is
Sam
this
is?
year. I believe that's right.
No, I did, he got
I
one.
won't wait for my.
Because when you get the cost of living, it bumped that up even higher on that level of grade 17. I think he's a grade 17.
I remember all of us having a big conversation last budget cycle about next year we was going to address the operators. And that work road and bridge and see if we could get them a little bump like we got everybody else. Or something, something. We could give them something, incentive, some kind of incentive to stay, Fortunately, I do have a couple that live right here in town that enjoy their job. They really like working for the county, but they also kind of complain about the pay, and I understand. But I didn't know if maybe we want to hold off one more year, or how y'all want to discuss it. I want to talk to y'all about it, but,
I think we need to address it myself, because these guys, they don't just sit there and run one machine all day. They run several machines. They're versatile. They weld, they're mechanic, they fix tires, they do manual labor, they drive machines worth $500,000. They got a CDL license. You can't just go and find somebody that has all this stuff, that knows how to operate multiple machines like this.
I got 2 part-timers. I did have 3 part-timers and 1 full-time, but last week we did that. Now I got 2 with 2. That 1 full-time don't need insurance, but anyway, all 4 of mine's got CDL license.
Yeah,
That's kind of unheard of,
It's
All
hard,
4
they're very hard to get now. I think you have to go through a driving school now to even get a license.
$7,500.
Yeah, it's not nothing like, from what I'm understanding, it's nothing like it used to be. Getting it, passing the test, you gotta jump through a lot more hoops.
It goes right.
I talked to a young man that had it, if you'd be interested in part-time, I was gonna try to get Leo out. And he asked to pay. He laughed. He said, I can go right over there and make $38 an hour. I don't have any employees, but I tell you, I see how these guys, how they work, how they operate. And they're on call, and they go out in the middle of the night and everything else, so.
I'm very lucky, and I've been very lucky ever since I've been there to have the crew that I have now, or I had then. I've only lost one full-time employee since I've been there. And Doug was a workhorse. Everybody that knew Doug knew that. And then I hired Richard, and Richard has fit like a glove. And he's awesome. He's still learning, the maintainer, but as far as running equipment, there's nothing he can't run. And like Steven said, mechanics, they were mechanicing when I left this morning. They fix their own flats. We don't go to the shop. My employees are very hardworking, and they deserve something. So I'm in with y'all, and let's figure out what we're gonna do.
What about just bumping up the stair step on the pay scale? Would that work? So just a % increase?
You move them up to a different level?
Yes.
Like an 8, because right now they're,
I think there's 17.
well, your foremans are an 18, your others are 17, so you could bump up each one to a different level, higher level of the scale. And you're right, I'm just looking at pay, now let's see. Yeah, Sam is maxed out, you're right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
He was gonna sneak by until he told Bonnie that. Sounds like.
Yeah, I've got another one of these minutes.
Like I said, I don't have any employees and all that, but I'm witness to every department here. These guys work hard, and they're on call when you're safe during a hurricane and you're tucked away, and Richard's got you taken care of back there. They're out there in the elements, shoving trees, cutting trees, working so that people can get in and out. And I'm in favor of it. I don't have any to increase, but I go along with you guys. I think they deserve it.
I don't think, and I'm looking at yours over there, Stephen, but I don't think that it would go up exactly, it wouldn't change too much from the proposed budget we got. If we did talk about, how you was just gonna give yours a raise or whatever, or something to sort in your budget. But I don't know if that's coming out of the general fund or what that budget, I don't know if we can kind of split that. Because I was paying for a whole full-time employee, correct? I don't know if it'd change too much off of this if we just.
Stephen's adding
I can bump mine down, back down to 3 and keep the amount, the money the same. I think
That's what me and you kind of talked about before. I just didn't know how to use, that's your budget, I don't know, how it was
Well,
working.
they'll come all out of general fund, so payroll comes out, of your guys come out of general fund. Meaning that,
So, let me ask
no,
you,
they come out of your road and bridge.
There you go.
I'm so sorry.
I'm fixing to hold you to it.
Well, it's.
You know, I got you on film now.
No, that's all right, no, you're correct, it's coming out of your budget. So, but with that, that increase means I will need to transfer more from the general fund to cover the increase.
well, he says that he don't want that fourth
Fourth
person.
one,
That would kind of, would that come close to leveling out, so.
it could, especially with what we've got left over.
I'm saying it wouldn't come, if he didn't want that fourth employee, and we used that money to split between our guys, that'd probably come pretty close to, give or take.
What kind of increase are you talking about on the salary scale? Moving it from 18, the foremans to?
Well, 18 to a 19, a 17 to 18, is that?
But let me make sure I'm clear on something. We can never pay one precinct people more than the other. That won't work.
No.
No, he's talking about was moving the salary scale, like your foremans
Yeah.
go up to 20s, and your operators go up to 19 or 18.
Right now, the foreman is one step ahead of the other guys, so if we was to move the foreman up one step and then move the other guys up one one step, it'd still be, our performance will still be one step above.
That's fine with me. Now,
But all of us make the same, all of our guys make the same.
But what are we gonna do about the part-time? I only have one part-time, he's got CDL. And,
Well, if he's a 17, he'll still move up to an 18, and with the hourly rate would increase.
I don't know what he is,
Who we talk about?
Good hand.
Mark Millette.
Yeah, everybody.
He's a 17, he's at a 17 at an hourly rate,
So you would
so his
say-
would go up.
I'm
Make it
for
an
it.
18.
Okay.
Y'all gonna move them up one, or what you gonna do?
By one step each. Foreman's go up to 19, the rest go to an 18.
Except for these guys here, I'm just gonna go along with it. My hand ain't getting
That's
that.
it.
You agree with that, David?
Yeah, I agree.
And then reduce the one from yours.
I have 4 on my line, that
Maybe
reduces to 3, and it should equal out.
Okay, so I think it'll be close to,
So are you getting rid of one, too? Or he just only one getting?
no, he was gonna,
I was gonna add an employee, I added another employee, it bumped mine up 10% already on the money, but I'm gonna reduce it back to 3 if we get the raise and the monies are still there. It shouldn't affect the total.
yeah, it shouldn't affect the total,
Yeah.
total budget.
Yeah.
Well, explain to me how that works. If he added an employee and he raised his budget 10%, you said?
Well, his budget went up because he raised some other
But that money
line
was
items.
coming out of his budget.
No, he just now wanted to add a brand new person for this next fiscal year.
And that was gonna come out of the general fund?
Well, yeah, I mean, every time he adds more
Well, that
expenses.
never worked.
So that's what he had done. was
And so he
wanted
just
to
backed
add
it back
another.
out
he's
so
gonna-
y'all can get a raise.
He was gonna hire another person this next fiscal year. He went to
He
4.
was gonna put that position in there to give his guys some raise. I think.
So now he's gonna take that out.
I think that's what,
His purpose
his
was.
purpose was to.
Yeah.
Can you find out across?
We have to pay him the
Can
thing.
you find out how much
We have to be
Yes.
fair.
one bump will cost? Because we might wanna go to, just to see what the cost would be.
Yeah, I have to go back and look at the pay scale and see where they are and bring them up.
I think it's gonna be so minimal that it's not even noticed, is what I'm afraid of.
If you take their years of service, when you move them to the next step, they get their years of service added to that step. That's gonna give them more than just the minimum.
I understand too, but if you're taking away health insurance and all that from the full time, that he was gonna add with it.
Oh, yeah, so
See,
that,
so that
that,
comes
that's
off right
like,
there.
that
So there
brings
you
out a
go.
lot,
That
fringe
wipes it
benefits,
out.
everything, yeah.
Steve,
Yes, sir, that'll wipe it out.
when me and you talked before, you was just gonna most likely take that 4th person, split it up, try to give the other guys
Yeah.
raises, correct?
Right.
I just,
So that's what he was doing, trying to help us out for this record.
that's your budget, I don't know, overstep
So,
my ground, but I thought that's what you told me. So if we get
I've
all
always had 4 on the line item, but I had to pay for 3. I just bumped up the pay for 4, like it should be.
so you got one part-time,
I got 2
two part-times and 2 full-time. You got 3?
3 full-times, 2 part-timers.
That's
And I got 2 and 2. 2 full-time, 2 part-time.
Old Mill's got 2 and 1. Old Mike don't even have nothing. Is that agreeable with everybody, what y'all want to do?
Well, I think we're gonna get her to figure
I'll
out.
figure the numbers and get them to each of you, either through your assistant or by email, let you know how much the difference is. And then take that one person out
Yes, ma'am.
and fringe benefits, and send me just a little while to do that today.
That 12,000 goes a long way toward it, right there. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
when does this gotta be approved, that next court meeting, correct?
Lisa, when is?
September the 24th.
24th is the day that we're gonna have the hearing and approve it, but so by the next time, y'all need to be signing it down and getting everything worked out by the next court date.
Next week is.
September the 11th, is that our
Week from today.
week from today? Okay.
It's in 10.
The 10th?
Every year I look at this, when I look at these budgets, and I always go to these, constables and these JP officers and bring the attention to the JPs. Look at your total budgets. They're getting out of line again. We had them all making primarily the same budget. And every year we have to look at this. We've got one up to 106,000. We got one at 99,000, one at 100,000, and one at 104,000. My thinking is that don't take more to run one JP office or one constable's office than it does the other. Now, I know they're not gonna be exactly the same because of your years of service, and retirement, and benefits, but, why does it take $6,000 more?
Our judge's offices don't do the same work, have the same kind of cases, get the same number of cases in, or have the same jury trials. It's always different. I mean, you don't sit there and say, all 4 JPs are gonna bring in X number of dollars a year.
No, you don't.
I mean, it just works out that way.
Well,
And like, the last time y'all mentioned it, it was mentioned that my, education was higher. Well,
it still is.
whenever Judge Wallace and her clerk goes to school, they can stay in the same room. My clerk and I can't stay in the same room. And that's just one of the things it is. And I probably have more jury trials, so jury summonses are expensive. I'm still using some of the.
I didn't know that the clerks ever went to the school just here lately. Is that always been?
Been going ever since I've been. JP 6 years, they have to go to school just like we do. They have state certifications that they have to go to Austin and get.
The clerks,
Yes, sir.
but they don't go to y'all JP school.
Yes, sir. Whenever we go to school, they'll have clerks, JPs, and constables. They have different schools, different classes for all.
Could I ask you a question?
Yes.
JP1, her education is 3,500, JP2s is 2,150, 3s is 2,150, and yours is 55. Has it always been staggered that much?
No, sir, I think right now, I've been charged for one that I've been on a waiting list to go, and they charged me for it, and I'm trying to get that back, but, I mean, whenever we made our reservation for the last school, we made a reservation, the cost was $1,000 more than if I paid for it then, it was $1,000, I waited and paid for it when I got this, $1,000 cheaper. We do everything we can to, make ours cheaper. Sometimes I can't get to school like they have them here in Corpus. Sometimes I have to drive to Lubbock, and it's just, but
You said there's one come out of your budget that we haven't been to yet?
I didn't go to it, and I'm trying to,
This is a proposed budget for next year. This showing 55.
No, but I'm looking at, as of August 31st, he's only spent $3,600, is what I'm saying. If he's already got one in there, that's even less, you know.
I didn't know my budget that much. I mean, I think it's be the same, I don't know where the 5,000.
It was 2150, and then it's showing 5,500,
And I've spent so far this year,
3,600.
and there's no more schools.
That's what I'm saying, I thought maybe.
That's why it jumps out at me, in your budget, your total budget is 106,000 versus 99, 100.
What about me having a standalone building? I mean, is that,
What about it?
I mean, I have cleaning, I have electricity, I have a whole different, like the annex and Trinity, theirs are probably all together. They have to share that, I guess. I don't,
No, they break that all out. It's all broke out.
you see, out there, it's just me. And we, I don't do anything different than anybody else. I think maybe a few more jury trials, that's about it.
This JP's up over there in Trinity at 2 and 3, do they not go to that many schools or what?
Can't speak. Well, I know they do on occasion, but
It's just showing they haven't spent, everyone spent like $200-300 or $700 or
they probably, I don't know if they stay in the same room or not, or what, I don't know how
Yeah.
that works.
There wasn't much activity in JP3 because he did not go to some classes and we got to refund them some of that, so that was.
But the clerks and the judge is not there, they actually run it all.
Right.
If they got questions, they'll contact the judge.
I think we had them all at 2150 on education last year.
JP wants
So we
3,500.
can adjust that when that's 55 and
Well, would the average they're spending be closer to 3,500?
yeah.
Yeah, because Mary's was already 3,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not.
I mean, she could, can her clerk stay with her when she went to school?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, 21, 20.
And I would say that whatever value
Richard
that's
had
spent so far, that's gonna be what it is.
Richard
Pretty much higher than that.
half his.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Because some of them are paid by the organizations that put the schools on. So I go to some schools that it costs anything.
The way the offices are set up, you can, people are, you can get sued for doing the wrong thing at all.
You spent $3,600 as of right now, so, I mean, could we get that down to 3,500? I mean, see what it looks like.
I don't set the price of the schools. I mean,
I'm saying from the 5,500, could we bump that down to
55, I don't know where 55 came from.
Yeah, it's.
Well, it's in there.
Yeah.
Red flag come up when I see it. Because I always look at it.
I understand
And,
that.
and it shouldn't be $6,000 difference in one JP office to another. It's just the way it's gotta be.
Mary, could you,
Mary?
I'm sorry, I had Mary up at JP1 here, I'm looking at JP1. You're gonna have to let your clerk stay with you. Bonnie, I guess make 2150, 2150, 2150. That Richard had, because his wife is sitting back and she said, no, she is not staying with my
Of
husband.
course not, I know. But with 3,500.
And it's
for all
on the
of them,
anniversary,
then
Richard,
you
I
bet.
want to mess up.
I think.
Cost of schools have gone up,
Yeah,
3,500 for all of them,
I think.
might be more appropriate.
Yeah.
Is that what they all are, or?
No, they're different different, so if I
Well,
make.
the two are
It
trying-
depends on what school you go to.
It does.
The thing is,
Turn that van.
the judge, Richard, went to school. So far, he spent $3,600. He ain't going no more school this year.
I can see the backside. Well, that's holding that money back off.
So,
But if he adjusts if she adjusts the rest of the 35, then they can increase, so that's what I'm trying to say.
I believe my budget that I turned in, the only thing I asked for was one clerk to be full-time, or give us a second person we can hire for part-time to work on Friday. That's the only thing my budget I turned in.
If you save money on the 55, then the one that's less time you add it back in there, maybe a little more.
Hey, Bill, you know that?
Then just cut that out.
Hey, Bill, we could take that van we bought and turn it into a camper van and save some money on these.
Well, if they would offer more of them virtually, you could save a lot of money. Because that's not, a lot of the schools is virtual. And it's $200 versus $2,000.
Yeah.
But they, a lot of these
Even
don't
with
offer.
our discounts.
And they'll, sometimes they'll refund, if you turn in a deal, they'll send you a refund for what you've attended, but I know some of these schools, they're so expensive.
And I have a question about that, because my wife, TAC pays for her school, there's a reimbursement form.
Right.
They don't for the.
Say, they don't for the JP,
They
is that?
do that for any other offices?
Yeah,
We get some kind of reimbursement, I think, on like lodging or something like that, but it's not the full amount.
no, and they don't pay for hotel and mileage,
Yeah, up to like $200 for hotels,
Right.
for mileage.
depending on the number of people that attend probably.
Oh, so if you get more employees than regular.
And I don't know if you can rotate with your clerks. If you have to go at the same time, just send the clerk, and then you go to the next one.
Sometimes for these classes that we're required to have, even the constable, we have to always go all the time. Because I know, one constable was looking, he might go to another state to do the training. But,
So,
like you said, some of them do online, the new clerk class, they're, mine's taking it online, so she might go to the clerk school. Except that I go to Austin, take the state test.
so decide what we're gonna do on
I think
License.
they said 3,500 for all the JPs for the school and education.
With the others not needing that much, I mean, why would you increase the others? It's only asking for $2,150. If
That's,
they're not spending $1,000 right now.
that needs to be asked to that JP. I know JP 3 is, I think, Easton's Melinda.
He what?
Does he send her Melinda?
Yeah, he budgeted $2,150, but what I was saying, why not $2,150 for 1, 2, and 3, because they're not asking that much. and then
it. Mary's already at 3,500, she's already spent more.
She
So
spent more
what-
than
She's a little bit over budget, so we can't decrease her.
Am I correct then, like, if it's $3,500 across the board for school, if 2 and 3 don't want to use that entire amount, they're still budgeted, they still have the option, but likely they won't spend it, whatever,
Yes.
you know, fine.
Yes,
so
sir.
when you write it down on the budget, you gotta come up with the money on the
Yeah.
income side.
Yeah, but if you wanna keep it even,
It's not none, you're cutting back to your reserve fund.
Would we just keep it even and let it go over budget?
Well, it's better to budget it.
Well, let's just say in precinct 1 and 4 go more than 2 and 3.
How about this, Bonnie, how about you, can you get us numbers on that? If you put them all at 35,
Uh-huh.
and then see, and then next meeting, when we talk about the employees, the operators, see what we can do, and see if we can make that happen or not. What do you think?
Lisa, when do I have to file this preliminary on
You're
this
just
budget?
filing a preliminary, that's not the final, so it can be filed with
Yeah, it can be-
the changes made.
But the final date is 24.
We're just
20.
filing a preliminary, we haven't filed a preliminary.
It's gonna be an
Changes
increase,
can be
keeping
made.
it at 35.
Yeah.
What you want, Rich?
I was gonna say,
Yeah, the
it
increase
just means,
$800.
we don't all go to the same schools, so like over there in Trinity,
More.
they have truths,
Put it at
lots of
35.
truths. I've never had one the whole time I've been in office, I've never been to one of those schools, because it's,
You're lucky.
a waste of my
We'll see
time.
what the difference is.
Church is horrible, man.
And
Yeah, just look at it.
it is a little difference in the office. I can see where.
Got
you're saying-
$6,000, Richard.
Well, I
Got
know,
$6,000.
well, if you go back and look, that was never put on my budget, so I don't have, maybe.
I don't know who put it there, but it's what it showed
I
up.
appreciate whoever did, but
Yeah,
I,
well, I just, gonna bring it up when I see it, I'm gonna bring it up. So, I don't agree with it, but anyway, I'm only one.
So you're gonna staircase the pay scales on the variable?
Yes, on
Is
the
that
road.
correct? $1, that's what y'all decided, $1 increase, 17, 18 to 19, 19 to 20. Is that correct?
It's a
Oh, yeah.
pay scale, a bit more than that.
Huh?
We're jumping 2 scales.
Two scales? Go over that again.
Wait a minute, your foremans are currently an 18, and your other,
So you're
other,
moving.
What we want, Bonnie, or what I think we want is our formulas at 18, get the numbers for going to a 19, and then get the numbers going to a 20. And then for the operator, just the regular operators, from 17 to 18 to a 17 to a 19.
Two scenarios,
Two
right?
scenarios.
From my understanding.
okay,
Correct?
okay.
Right?
Right.
Got that. And then we're gonna move the JP schooling to 3,500, is that correct? Across the board?
We're going to do
We're
that,
gonna
and look
throw
at the
that in and
numbers,
see what happens.
see what happens when we go that number.
But I'm gonna have to file a proposal.
That's fine.
Go ahead, file it.
And it's gonna be online, we can change it up to the 24th, is that correct? I'd like to finalize this out.
One of the, well, a couple of things that we haven't discussed.
What page?
One being 17, mid-page, the library. We had a lady come here and talk about the library, come here and talk about growth.
Yeah, the city of Groveland.
Is this right here where it says 3,500, is that going to growth?
Trinity,
It's
no,
going
that
to Trinity.
goes, we've never,
Well, they've always been in our building.
yes.
correct?
So we
Now
never made
they're
a
not.
donation. Now
So
they're
she
not.
come in, I don't know if y'all remember a few times ago and asked that she would like to
Receive something.
receive, the same amount Trinity did, is what she asked. So that may be,
You got a question, I want to hear it.
No, I just have another suggestion.
yep,
That since it's a nonprofit, it's a city government, you can use those capital, tax credits money that we use like for pet fixers.
yep.
You can use that money for that particular situation if you would like.
Well, I would like to see them get something, I don't know how y'all feel about it. They're not in our building no more, I know we paid the bills and stuff over here for them, but they're not in there no more. And we're paying, library insurance, we're giving them a donation as well, so. What's y'all's feeling?
I'm all about being fair. And like you said, we furnished the building and the library for, well, I guess it's what we did was the manner whenever they started having.
Did we have the, in this fund you're talking about, did we have the?
How much do we have?
You want the full amount?
No.
No,
I,
no. You
their,
have,
their library's not gonna be near as big as Trinity's library. I don't think they need 3,500, but I'm for. What about that?
I think they ought to get $2,000
Do that?
or how do y'all feel about
I
go with
is
that.
that.
And then we can probably increase it if y'all give us a little more money next year.
I'll go with that, Judge.
As long as you don't raise no taxes, Judge, I'll be with you.
How big is the, I've never been to the library in Trinity.
It's Trinity's got about 3 or 4 times.
I've never been to Trinity.
It's a big.
Yeah, it's a big place.
Or how do y'all feel about it? I mean, I just looked that up.
$2,000,
I'll go with that, Judge.
How about you?
Yeah, and then if, maybe if they need some more, we'll
Next
that's
year,
not,
we'll
yeah,
look at it.
we'll look at it. That's fine with me.
Is that all right? Is that all right with you?
that we'll use capital credits, I think that's a good use of that fund.
Okay. It won't affect your,
It won't affect your budget.
We increased all the fire departments, y'all see that
I see where you did, Judge.
it's 25% straight across the board.
I see where you did.
You know, we don't have a regular fire department, it's sitting there, we're paying all that too, and they do a great job. Apple Spring, Road, Trinity, all of them.
What page is that on, Judge?
What's
What
that?
page is that on?
And with
Danny, while we're talking about fire departments, Apple Springs has requested that we get a generator for the communication tower out there, because every time the lights go out, they can't communicate.
we're looking at that stuff
Grants.
with our grants with FEMA right now. And we look like we probably won't have a chance to get us over there. We're always in our, did you find it on
Page 13.
I was trying to be, we was all trying to be fair there, and like I said, I think we deserve all of it, but we don't have to give it. But we did try to be fair and do 25% across the board for our department. All of it.
And actual money, how much was that? Does anybody know? The increase to the fire department?
That's what I'm asking up there now.
Okay, yeah.
That's 6,000.
So it's 6,000.
6,000.
And all those people did a good job where they're at. Appreciate the Forest Service and State of Texas.
About $19,000, about $20,000 round numbers. Total.
There's no doubt they do a great job. I mean, they answer a lot of calls and 20,000 across for everybody.
Oh, I'm not.
So that's a good investment.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Around $20,000.
Yeah.
17,280.
80.
I was just round numbers.
Well, that's when we got our money, you know, there. And plus you help every one of them too, and that's a good thing. 25% across.
And You know, we had 2 disasters and 3 floods, too.
Sorry.
We had 2 disasters, 3 floods, and y'all still short on rock. We need over 10,000 tons of 3 by 5 rock all.
Yes, sir, we do. We need
We
to
still
know.
need culverts.
We hadn't heard word from FEMA. No more.
As yet. It looks like it's coming up. We pondered the FEMA people over there.
We had talked,
We've uploaded one of the sections, it's been cleared and ready to go, and they've said they're supposed to be, contacting precinct 1 and 4, I believe, on your site inspections. Careless.
I had a phone call yesterday from Deer Run. People called me and said, we've got a bunch of wood and stuff that we tore out of our house that we need to haul off. When is the dump open? And I had to call them back and tell them we don't have a dump.
I've done the same thing at Sportsman.
oh, well, one thing, I don't know if y'all heard, but FEMA has done, in Camp Ranch, they started sending individuals checks, not for their home, but for that washout in the back there. Tatum had them submit everything individually. All that money that they got, it's roughly closer to $60,000 as of right now. They got to put that money on that road right there. So, but they sent an individual check to each person, but that money has to be put on that road right there.
Out in front of their house.
That's a positive thing.
That's, at least you see some money.
Yeah.
flowing.
So all of those people are turning that money back into the association?
Yeah, they all put it in the pile.
So are you gonna help them with it or?
I'm doing some hauling, like I can haul material to a subdivision, I can't do nothing else, but they're hiring, they actually have some people in their subdivision that owns equipment and knows how to do that kind of stuff, so that's just, they're gonna basically do it in-house. Because the quotes they got are pretty outrageous, and they ain't got that kind of money, so they're gonna try to piece it together themselves.
Okay, they have to have a POA. They have to have a POA to do this because, I mean, they're in Lake Erie.
Oh, I
I've
know.
got hundreds of people that, no, we can't even get a school bus around.
The POA didn't file this, it's individual.
Individuals.
An individual person filed it, and, you know, told them that it's not, we didn't even know how home damage would be, we can't get out of subdivision because of this road.
There's some checks from the Bell County as well.
Yes. Sir?
So there's some checks from FEMA from the Bell's County too. About 2 ladies a week.
Well, we just have a little strip there at Bell's Camp, you know, coming off the highway. Like Lake Erie around the loop, I mean, the bus can go around. But I mean, it has to go slow. It's just sugar sand and just rub boards and wash out. But on the sides of the road is where it's bad. And we've ordered rock 2 months ago and still haven't got any rock.
And I still see that dump truck guy going in there, and
Yes, sir.
going all the way through.
But to answer your question, I believe that the individuals in there could have, or I don't know if they still can or not, but they could have filed individually. Just said, you know, there's some check mark sections in there where you check no damage here, but damage here, type, and that's what they had to do.
And they ran the road around and we checked mark and even the whole loop in there. And how many spots, Randy? 25?
Yeah.
30? Around that loop alone.
You know, is FEMA got 3 days this week, Lisa, do you know?
Trinity, yeah.
I'm sorry?
In Trinity.
Yeah, in Trinity.
Yes, sir.
We have 3 days in Trinity, and it's at the community center, but it's not in the big building, it's to the building if you was looking at it to the left. And if y'all need to file something individually from your roads, you can't, you gotta use it on your roads, but you can probably go there and help y'all with that.
Yeah, but quit watching the court online and pay attention to driving. Okay.
Y'all need that.
all this is good for the employee, wants to watch the court online now. I want to pay attention to the road.
So I guess we're all in agreement on the fire department deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was my.
That's all that I had earmarked, just a few questions that I had.
I just remember the lady from the library, we got them fixed up, so,
But the employees, no?
Employees, fire departments, library.
That ain't that.
Y'all done y'all's 1.9, y'all still on that for individual?
that's all added in here, correct?
It's all in there.
It's all in there, but I just want to go over it.
You got,